And breaking news, this is a big security measure that we are reporting of post the attack that we've seen on our forces in Pulwama, where the MHA now has gone ahead to make this big announcement. We are getting you details of that measure where the MHA now has approved air travel for all non-entitled armed forces from Srinagar to Jammu or Delhi. This clearly means that no longer they will have to travel by road, something that was reported in this particular case. And that's a story that our colleague Aishwarya is breaking for us. Aishwarya, what more do we know about this?
Well, at this point of time, we are being clearly told that the Ministry of Home Affairs has basically approved the entitlement of air travel of Delhi, Srinagar, Delhi, Jammu, Srinagar, and then Srinagar-Jammu sectors to all personnel of the Central Armed Paramilitary Forces, which includes the ITBP, which includes BSF, which includes CAPF, and all the other paramilitary forces. This means that the decision will directly help around 78,000 personnel of the paramilitary forces who are being moved on this sector once again from Delhi, Srinagar, Delhi, Jammu, Srinagar, Jammu sector.
Yes.
So it's basically between the national capital and then the state of
Aishwarya,
JNK.
as you get us that detail, I'll just request our producers to put out that tweet once again. That is from the handle of the Home Minister of India. That goes on to say that the decision will immediately benefit approximately 7,80,000 personnel of the CAPFs in the ranks of constable, head constables and the ASI who were otherwise not legible earlier. It goes on to say, and I quote, "This includes journey on duty, journey on leave. That is while going on leave from Jammu and Kashmir to home and return." And I think this is a very, very significant measure, Aishwarya, that the government now is willing to put in place for the security of our forces. Aishwarya, you there with us? All right, more details coming in via Aishwarya. There is another tweet that I can tell you more about, and we'll try to again put that up on your screens, where that says in Jammu and Kashmir sector, it may be recalled that the air courier service for the CAPF's Jawans was approved for the Jammu-Srinagar-Jammu sector. Subsequently, the service was extended to cover Delhi-Jammu, Jammu-Srinagar, Srinagar-Jammu and the Jammu-Delhi sector in December of 2017. They also go on to say that this facility is in addition to the existing air courier services for the CAPFs that have been steadily extended in all sectors by the MHA to help the Jawans cut down on travel time during the journey to and fro from home on leave. Extremely important, extremely significant reaction that we are getting to you. A significant development there by the government. As far as the entire case really goes, there is also a notification that has just been released by the Ministry of Home Affairs that is titled Authorization of Air Travel to the CAPF's personnel, that does underscore the points that we have just mentioned for you. And more reactions that you see on your screens, in fact, details that have come in from the Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh, who's talking of the fact that this decision will immediately benefit the personnel of the CAPFs in the ranks of the constable, the head constable and the ASI who were otherwise not legible earlier. We are also, I think, putting out on your screens more details of that big convoy rule now that has been put in place after we've seen that dastardly attack on our CRPF Jawans as they were traveling from Jammu to Srinagar. And this, I think, again will go a long way in ensuring the safety. It will also cut down the travel time by our forces. And significantly, this includes journey on duty, journey on leave, that is while going on leave from Jammu and Kashmir to home and return. Niranjan has more updates for us. Yes, Niranjan.
Well, this is a big shift from the normal procedure that is followed for forces in Jammu and Kashmir, something that will affect not just the CRPF but also the BSF, the ITBP and the NSG and also the police. I think it's a significant move and a lot of criticism. In fact, even as we speak, there are several leaders who are tweeting, asking how the attack took place, etc. And I think we have the DG CRPF joining us on the phone line. Let's see if we can, if the DG CRPF can hear us. Mr. Bhatnagar, can you hear us, sir? Mr. Bhatnagar, your response to this big move by the government? Mr. Bhatnagar, can you hear us, sir? Okay, we'll try and go across to Mr. Bhatnagar, but I think, Dipti, I'll just take you through the details. So essentially what the order says is that the undersigned is directed to convey approval of the competent authority to allow non-entitled personnel of CAPF, AR and NSG to travel by air from Jammu and Srinagar and back on official duty or transfer or tour on leave and leave. This is as per the provisions contained in SR 48B, subject to review after 1 year. Now, point 2 also reads that the approval of competent authority is also conveyed to allow non-entitled personnel of CAPF, AR and NSG to travel by air from Delhi to Srinagar and back on official duty or transfer as per the provisions contained. Now, this is effective from the date of issue of this order, which is the 21st of February 2019. I think it's a big departure from what has been happening, and there's been so much of a debate over this movement, and the fact that the government and the Home Ministry has now taken a decisive call to say that henceforth they will travel by air. It's a big departure. Something that will also, help our forces in one, cutting travel time, and two, securing the security aspect.
And this, I think, Niranjan, then clearly means that there are not going to be any more ground convoys that we'll see moving in Jammu and Kashmir.
Only when they're moving from, one place to another, one city to another. In the case of Jammu and Srinagar, it's a long travel. And I think what this essentially will now do is, cut that travel time by a large extent. And yes, like you said, there will not be ground travel when they're traveling long distances. They will henceforth travel by air. Ground convoys will now be stopped, and it will, I think, translate to air travel going forward. And this is something that also politicians in Jammu and Kashmir had been asking. There was a debate. Remember, Dipti, there was a debate because the moment this was mooted, and I think there were two options. One option is close the highway during movement of convoy, or second, take the air route. And the politicians in Jammu and Kashmir had said, do not block the highway so that civilians can travel. Try and take the air route. And immediately after the attack, I think for the last 1 week, they decided to go ahead with the ground movement on highways and block the highways during security travel. What they've now decided is, instead, we will go ahead and shift all of the travel from one city to another via of course air.
And Niranjan, as you get us more details of what really does that entail, how does that change the convoy rules, how soon will this be enforced?
As per the order that Republic TV has accessed, this is something that will kick in immediately. This will happen immediately, and this is also something that will affect nearly 780,000 personnel of the CAPF in the ranks of constable, head constable, and ASI who are otherwise not eligible to travel by air. And this is effective 21st of February, which is today. And starting today, I think they can start traveling via air. It is a big boost, in fact, for our forces. One, they cut down on travel time, and two, the safety aspect is also taken care of. And this includes duty. This includes journey on duty, journey on leave, while going on leave from Jammu and Kashmir to wherever they are, to home and return. So in Jammu and Kashmir, I think the entire debate was around the movement of forces in Jammu and Kashmir, and that aspect is taken care of, from Jammu to wherever their homes are, and from Kashmir to wherever their homes are, from Delhi and beyond.
Oh yes, Niranjan, for the moment, thank you so much. We also can, I think, now get in our colleague Aishwarya, who was breaking more details of that story for us first. Aishwarya, a very, very significant move. The announcement has come from the Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh on social media. And, I still remember very, very clearly that one image, Aishwarya, of the Union Home Minister himself shouldering the coffins of our Jawans. And at that point, again, he said that this sacrifice will not go in vain. And I think as a government, this is very, very significant that you are looking at these rules that have been changed for the movement of convoys henceforth.
Well, absolutely, Deepthi. This is something which cannot be denied, that the government was also under a lot of pressure. We lost 46 of our brave soldiers, 40 that day and 6 the next day. So the government knows that they had to do something. SOPs were being changed, but this kind of a drastic change is something which does not happen that often. But keeping in mind the kind of attack, and also we are being clearly told that the kind of intel which the MHA was receiving directly, that the other terrorist groups which are also active in the state of Jammu and Kashmir have been thinking of a similar kind of attack has raised the alarm. And that's exactly why a blanket ban has been moved onto the Delhi and J&K sector of the 780,000 paramilitary forces, which includes the SSP, which includes the CRPF, CISF and the BSF, and also ITBP partly, makes it very clear that no movement will happen via road, via any other mode between the national capital and then Jammu and Kashmir. Through all the other states, it is still allowed. But keeping in mind the intel which they have been receiving, and as you just said, the Home Minister himself who was present there, and he gave his shoulder to the coffins of our brave soldiers who were killed in that dastardly, cowardly attack by the terrorists sponsored by Pakistan. The government of India taking this decision. This is a major decision because right now neither the SS nor the BSF have the planes to move these number of soldiers. So the IAF is going to be helping the paramilitary forces, but ultimately we are being told that within 24 months, the SS, that is the Seema Suraksha Bal, and then the BSF, which have 3 planes, will increase their fleet. But till then, IAF is going to be providing continuous help to move these 780,000 soldiers between J&K and Delhi.
Oh yes, Aishwarya, I'll just let you go briefly so that you gather more updates for us. And I also say good afternoon to Major Gaurav Arya, the editorial advisor of Republic, who's been patiently holding that phone line. Gaurav, how do you read into this? I think very, very significant. It will go a long way in ensuring not just the safety of our Jawans, but also I think sending them a message at this hour that we as a country, we as a government are with them.
Yeah, there are 2 things to consider here. Number one is that, yes, it's a welcome step, and, the government has done a good job. So, that is said so far. Now, apart from other things also, you get airlift from Delhi to Srinagar, but South Kashmir, most of South Kashmir is the other way. So, if you have to go to Anantnag, you have to go by road. So, look at it from a security point of view. I think that while this is a very welcome step, you will still need convoys to move because airport sirf Srinagar mein hai. There is no airport beyond Srinagar. So while it is a welcome step, there are more things that need to be done in the near future.
Oh yes, and as they say, at least they've taken the first step. The first step that I think was in the pipeline for a very long time. But also, Major Gaurav Arya, before I let you go, what more do you think that we need to be doing together? And do you think this is just the beginning of perhaps a lot more SOPs that possibly could be changed in the wake of the Pulwama attack?
Absolutely. I think what you need to do, or what we need as a country to do is, give more authority to army, give more authority to CRPF. Like this attack which took place in Pulwama on 14th of February was essentially because there was too much of civilian traffic. Now the government has come out and said that when a convoy is moving, there will be no civilian traffic. Similarly, you must give them extra powers. There has been this whole propaganda about AFSPA saying that the Armed Forces Special Powers Act is overreaching and overarching and you can do anything and get away with it. That is simply not true. That is simply not true. We need to empower our soldiers to take the decision at the right time. We keep losing soldiers. 3 days after Pulwama, we lost 5 brave hearts again. Why? Because they wanted to avoid casualties.
Yes.
They wanted to avoid civilian casualties. While that is correct and that must be done, but at the same time, we must also realize as a nation that the lives of our soldiers are also priceless.
Oh yes, and I really hope the government is listening, and the government will perhaps come out with more details as to how those SOPs can be changed. For the moment, Major Gaurav Arya, Aishwarya Niranjan, thank you, all of you, for putting that big story into perspective for us.